So welcome to another video, and today I wanted to make a video that I wanted to do for a very long time. And the topic of this video is gonna be win conditions. You can also call them victory condition, but I feel like this sounds a little bit stupid. Not stupid, but it doesn't sound as good in my opinion. So I'm gonna stick to win conditions, and I quickly wanted to start up with a definition. So I found one from StarCraft 2, which is, these mechanics control how a player wins the game. It's pretty accurate in my opinion, but I wanted to make my own one that fits a little bit more into like CS. So my definition would be, the decisions you need to make at the start or during a round based on the specific circumstances of that round to get your players or team into the best possible situation to win your round. So what that basically means is you put your players into the best position to win the round based on different circumstances. And I wanted to talk about these kind of different circumstances and this specific things that can affect your win conditions. So the first thing I want to start off with is your players and the playstyle you prefer. So there are win conditions based around the players you have or the playstyle you prefer. So for example, let's say you have, by the way, I'm using this like demo just to get this minimap where I can draw on, because I'm a little bit stupid and I couldn't find a way to get this screen where I can draw on like this. So ignore the match, ignore the players. I'm just using this for the purpose of having this awesome map. So let's get back into it. I wanted to show you how players can affect your win conditions. So let's say you have a very aim-based team, like you have very good aimers and you're not that good tactical wise, then your win conditions are probably putting your players into aim duels, like putting them A slope. Like if two players have a good spawn, you can let them come up A and fight the players on A. You can let them come up mid, look for this duel, maybe look for duels like this, maybe duels like this, maybe you have someone coming up here trying to fight the guy on track, all these, or maybe from Abs fighting a fighting the guy on jungle or stairs, all this kind of stuff. You're basically just putting your players into positions where they can find aim duels, because you know, okay, I have pretty good aimers, but our tactics or team play isn't that good. So in this kind of scenario, these are your win conditions. So if you don't have like such good aimers and you have maybe better team play or better strats, a very good way to play on Mirage would be probably smoke off this at the beginning of the round, let two guys come top mid, one guy underground, let the top mid guys smoke off this. So window is smoke, cat is smoke, let your underground player smoke off this, and then get one player into the connector. Like, you know what I mean, and get one player into the mini area. So now you have one guy in mini and one guy into the connector, and now they're pretty good positions to make a split. For example, you could let this guy lurk, let your top mid guys fall back and just split A with a lurk here, or you can let this guy come into window, clear this like a few seconds before, and then you split A like this. Or what you could do, you let this guy here in connector like here lurk, your underground guy this is your underground guy. Yeah, he's sitting here. You have someone here. You let your top mid players go B. You let your A player completely fall back. You group up here and you got someone on short. And like B-Abs short. You let this guy lurk like this. Or you let him fall back like this. You let him come up here and you just have one guy here. And then you group up with 4 people like this. Or maybe someone died and you have then 3 here and 1 here, or you have 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. There are millions of variations. But the good thing about playing, like getting your players into these close range is, in my opinion, when you don't have the better aim, like the enemy team has better aimers, it's really good to get into close to mid-range fights, because when you're fighting on long range like this, most of the times, in my opinion at least, the better aimer will get out ahead. Like, if you're the better aimer, you will win this duel like 90% of the times. But if someone is sitting here, like here, and someone is peeking into connector from here, it's not that like important if you're the better aimer or not, because every average player, in my opinion, should be able to get this frag like on this range. So the aim difference isn't as high, like unless you're like a fucking insane guy coming up the connector and like flicking to the left and the right. But most of the times it mostly comes down like to timing or pre-aiming especially. And that's the reason why I think it's better to put your players into close to mid-range fights when you don't have the like skill advantage in terms of aiming. So that's win conditions based around the players or the playstyle you have. And now I wanted to talk about win conditions based on the map you play or even the site you play on. So for example, on Mirage, a basic win condition, as I said, would be take mid control and then execute from this, like from the mid area. As a CT, you want to take control of A, obviously you want to take control of connector, you might want to take control of this short area, you want to have someone spotting on B so you get early information. Like, these are your conditions to win the round. If you're sitting on B side with 2 people like sitting here and sitting here, and you have someone sitting here, like, it's so funny because we played against a team on LAN that did that, and it was horrible. They had someone on B like spotting, but he didn't do anything, because as soon as we showed our opera here, he would just fall back and sit here, or like sit on side. And the short guy was always falling back because we did this like normal mid take that I explained to you. Get someone here, and the short guy was here, and the other guy was here, or like here, opping like this. So they had 2 players on side, and they had 1 guy here, the window guy. He fell back always when we smoked off this. He was holding jungle like this, and they had like 1 CT and 1 on the balcony and stuff. So you basically have no control, and it's very easy to lose rounds like that, because the T's can make so many, like, you have no idea what's going on, and T's can split you so easily. They can do fake so easily, and it's very hard to spot the fake when you're playing like this far back. So as a CT, as I said, you want to take control of A, you want to take control of connector. If they smoke off connector, okay, sit behind the smoke, like here in jungle for example, wait for the smoke to fade, and then maybe retake mid control. Let your short player get let him come here, throw some flashes, let someone peek window, let someone get into connector back. These are the things you can do. Or what you could do, if you realize that you're using a lot of manpower, like if they always have 3 players in mid, try to go for the aim duel on slope, like throw a flash over this and try to find the like single player that is here, or try to find him on apps. It's probably better to go here, because in apps it's like really difficult to kill a player if he's like dancing around or he has a good off angle. So try to find this player right here, or try to find a player like that is holding B apps. So if you figure out, or you see that you can't retake mid control, or you can't stop the mid take, then okay, let's let them waste time on mid, and during the time that they're taking mid control, you let your ARPA just come up here and maybe hold an angle like this, and let a rifler sneak up, and then when your rifler is into a good position like here or here in kitchen, you let your ARPA fall back, let him hold short, and now you're in a good position on B. Or you even can let him play from here, or what you could do, you can let him go into the kitchen, and because probably most of the times when it's a B hit, the guys on B apps will show first. Like it's very rare that the players on short will make first contact without someone being at least in like this area right here. So this guy can easily spot the B take, and the second player can fall back a little bit more towards the A side. So, excuse me. So that's about win conditions based around the side you play on, based around the map you play on. Obviously, these patterns exist for every single map. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is win conditions based on the money situation you're in. So let's say, for example, you're on T side of Mirage and you have pistols. So unless you have like some insane deagle gods, it wouldn't be a good idea to let 5 players run up like this and fight the mid guy. Well, actually it's not that bad of an idea, and this mostly comes down to just like how awful the pistols are in CSGO. Like with deagles, you can actually do that, because if you have an ARPA here, okay, he can take one shot and then he needs to fall back, because it's very dangerous to play against the deagles. But for example, what you could do a thing like that, or what you could do if you have like P250s or just Tech 9s and smokes, you could go to A and try to like have a smoke execute that's like this, for example, and then plant the bomb. Or you do the default one and then some good flashes and a Molotov here and a Molotov here, and then you try to get out apps with a good pop flash. So you're basically trying to get your players into a close range again to make use of the one-shot ability of the pistols. So that's something you need to think about when you're like on an eco round or frostbite. Another example would be when you're on CD side and you have like, for example, arms like UMPs and FAMASs, and you don't have a lot of equipment, you should go for an aggression, for example. Because most of the times, when you just got UMPs and FAMAS and stuff, you're not going to be able to have like sick retakes, and you're also not going to be able to stop or slow down set executes, because when they throw smokes like that, you don't have any flashes or molotovs to slow them down, and you don't have tools to retake, and you're trying to retake a site against AKs with UMPs and FAMASs. Like, you're not probably gonna win this round. So what you could try to do is to play like a silent mid push, like when they always smoke off this, you just jump off the window and you have like one guy holding a flash, and then you have 2 or 3 players sneaking up here, and you have one guy throwing a flash like this, and then you try to fight them, because now you're looking for these aim duels, because you know that you're not gonna be able to slow down executes. So these are like win conditions based on the money situations you're in. So this is like the first part, and now I want to hop into a few examples of win conditions during a round, because during a round win conditions are changing a lot. So yeah, I will show you an example on Death 2, and I will see you there. So now we're on Death 2, and I wanted to tell you what I mean by win conditions during a round. So let's imagine a scenario where you have one upper sitting here, one guy holding long with a rifle, 3 guys going towards B, your second upper's trying to get this pick right here, 1 rifler is protecting him, and 1 rifler is going lower, holding short, making sure no one is in this area right here, there. So let's imagine a scenario like you sit on, like one guy is sitting here, there, and the other 3 are towards B, and 20 seconds in the round, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden the CT upper peaks, this guy is dead, and someone peeked here, and this guy is dead as well. Now you need to understand something that is really, really important in my opinion if you want to be any good. So you need to understand that the odds changed the odds of winning the round for you changed drastically, because now you're in a 3v5 situation. But you need to understand that the odds of you winning the duels on the B side probably won't change in the next 1 to like 3 seconds, because it's still gonna be the same on B. Like you could maybe say like this area where you are in right now, like U3 and the cities, this area wasn't affected by the plays that happen in the mid and on long. So you need to understand that this area is pretty much the same, and you need to do something now. That's the first step. You need to do something now to use like this kind of, it's not an information like from like in-game wise, but it's the information you have, or you should have, or understanding you should have, that triggers the play right now. So you're sitting here with an AWP, and one guy's here and one guy's lower tunnel. So as soon as you realize like your teammates died, I wouldn't even wait for this guy to come up. I would immediately start walking up here and try to get a kill or peek like that, and have my rifler protecting me like that, maybe holding this, and then when I cleared this, he can like wide peek or come up here. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to catch someone off guard, and what you're trying to do, you're trying to get closer to this point right here, because now if they throw grenades, you're still in a position to just start off running and try to kill someone. Because what you see a lot of times in pro matches is people like, you think, like a lot of people think it's random, but like randomly throwing a Molotov like this. And this is because they understand like the win conditions of the enemy team. A good example would be on Mirage, for example. When players on mid die, like T players on mid die, you see a lot of CD players on the B side throwing a Molotov into the B apps, because they know the only chance of, like for the T's, of winning the round is to get a pick onto the B side or the A side. And what the player on B is then doing, he's buying time for his teammates to reposition. Like when a CD is on B side and he sees that his mid guy killed someone and his long guy killed someone, he should immediately throw a Molotov, because he should know that the only thing that the T's can do right now is to come up B and try to fight for the B side. And he should know that and try to block that to give his teammates time to either check if like the area is clear, or to fall back and get into good positions, like let your mid player come to B when your A player cleared long, or like set up crossfires and stuff to make use of the 5 versus 3 situation. So you're basically just buying time. And as a T, you should know when you're playing against better players that this is like a very likely scenario to happen, and you need to get close, because now you see the Molotov like coming. Okay, you're just going out and try to catch someone off guard that hasn't like pulled out his gun already, so you just explode in front of the Molotov and try to fight him, because that's the only way you win this round. If you're sitting here with an ARP and your rifler is still sitting here, Molotov comes, great. You have to wait like 15 seconds, and now you're probably running into 3 guys just waiting for you, and there's no way you can win this round. So you need to understand the like circumstances of that round, and you need to figure out what you need to do in order to get in a position where you can still win the round. And it's very like difficult for beginners to understand that, because you need a lot of experience, in my opinion. Experience is the most important thing to understand these kind of situations. But in general, you need to do something like really, really fast after like the kills happened. You can't just wait. And I see that so many times that people are so afraid, like, okay, my teammates died, now I'm just gonna wait for a pick. Yeah, that might work against like lower tier people, because they're like, okay, my teammates got killed, I'm gonna decide to pick B now. So like for some weird reason. But when you're playing against better players, you're not gonna win this round when you're just sitting here and waiting for someone to rock into your crossfire. So that would be a basic example for a buy round on Des 2. And I will give you an example for city side as well. So let's say you play like with 2 ops again. You have one sitting on long, you have one rifler coming up cat, you have one ARPer like holding mids, and you want to play together. Like these 2 guys are trying to make a play, and this guy died and this guy died as well, and you had like 2 players on B, for example. What you should do now, you like both players should group up and they should try to go B, because they're trying to figure out, okay, if there are like 3 players here, they should try to fight, and if one guy is just here, they should try to fight, or at least to get the information. They should make something happen. Like, you can't just sit in a 3 versus 5 and wait, okay, let's see what the T's are going to do. So you need to take risks. So a good thing to do would be push B. Figure out if they're B, and then you have time to rotate if they're not B, or you have like a fight here to maybe get back into the round. So that's something you could do on the CD side. And now that's it for Des 2, and I'm gonna show you some more examples on Mirage. So now we're here on Mirage, and I wanted to give you 2 more examples to make it a little bit easier to understand, I guess. So let's say you play a default on like the default I showed you at the beginning of the video, like 2 guys top mid, 1 underground, 1 A, 1 B. Let's say your top middle guy are like dying. This guy maybe died to someone in connector, and this guy died to someone picking up short. And now you have one guy underground like coming up on the window, and you have players like on A, on B. There's no way this guy wins you the round. This guy becomes your lurk and becomes like this player is reacting to the plays of this guy and this guy on the A side. So this guy right here should immediately start walking up and try to look for a fight. And I think it's much better to look for a fight, sorry, on the B side than it is on the A side, because there are just so many angles you need to check. And once you're out of the palace like here, you're really exposed to a lot of angles. So I think it's much safer to go up B. So there's still a lot of angles, but you're not as exposed as you are on the A side. What you could do, you could play off each other. So when this guy gets a kill here, this guy like can already be here. So he's in a very good position to catch someone rotating. So if the B player is getting a kill and someone is rotating, he might catch someone. And now you even out the round again. Like, obviously that's a very hypothetical situation, but that's the way to get back into round. Like, there's no way you win this round by just sitting here and waiting for someone to walk into your crosshair. Like, you need to surprise someone, and timing is really, really important. Like, you can't afford like to lose another 5 or 6 seconds. If your teammates are dying, like, immediately start walking. If you die here because you died to like a crossfire, so that's it. Okay, you died here, but you at least try to win the round. Like, there's no way you win this round against good players by just sitting around and doing nothing. And the same on the CD side. Let's say your window guy dies to someone top mid and your connector guy dies to someone on top mid. Now it's time for your B player to push up B apps and to figure out if they're coming B, and to maybe kill like a single player that is like waiting here or watching underground or something like that. He needs to push up and get this information. Or another thing that you can do is get a player into the A palace and figure out if someone is in the A palace. Because now you can like send a player here and let him be like just sit in palace, and you let your other guy go towards the B side and maybe go apps, and you try to shut down and execute when it's B maybe. And palace is a very specific position in my opinion, or like this position is very specific too if you can get there, because in this position you can get 2 frags, and this position right here is also very important or very useful, because I feel like you can get 2 frags as well and you can still be alive. And getting 2 frags and still being alive on A palace, it's very, very useful, because it's a pain in the ass when you're playing or planning on the A side and you still have to worry about someone being an A palace. So basically, when things like that are going to happen, you need to react immediately. You can't afford to wait. You need to take risks to even out the numbers and to get back into the round. And obviously, this is like a lot of stuff to understand, because as I told you, there are win conditions based on the players you have or the playstyle you prefer. There are win conditions based on the side you play on or the map you play on, what areas you need to or you should take control of. And there are win conditions based on the money situation you are in. So this is a lot of stuff to keep in mind, and I think you can just understand that with like, or trying to understand with experience, because you need a lot of experience in this kind of situation to understand what's most likely to happen. But you need to think about these kind of situations. You need to like rewatch your own demos and rewatch, like GoTV demos are super efficient because you can see where the T's or where are the enemy players, and you could figure out like what I could have done to even out the numbers or to get in a better position to win the round. And I see so many people having like 3 or 4K hours, and they know shit. They know shit because they just play and they don't think about these kind of situations. And in pucks, I feel like it doesn't matter so much because it obviously matters, and you will see like good players or players that have a really good understanding of win conditions will stand out because they catch so many people off guard. But in a team, it's much more important because I feel like it's very important on both sides, because if you're like playing on the B side and your teammates get 2 frags in mid and you're not focused, you're gonna get shit on. Because maybe they have 1 player here, maybe they have 2, but even if they just have 1 and this player is very aware of the situation and he's full focus trying to kill you, and you're just jumping around here, and maybe he's already here, like he spots you and you have your knife out like spotting, and he's already here and now he knows you're there, he's coming out, kill you, done. He gets the side. He can secure the kitchen area. He can tell his teammates, okay, fall back, I got kitchen. And now you basically fucked up the round. And like, it's not sure that they win the round, but you made it possible for them to win the round. And that's really bad because it was a 5 versus 3 situation. So it's probably not possible to win the round if you play it correctly. If you want to be any good on like a better level, you need to understand this concept. Otherwise, you're just gonna get shit on.